HMFIC, as I like to go by.
What is that?
Head motherfucker in charge.
Like,
Not to flex on everybody, but like I went to Magic Con and for wife aggro reasons, I can't really say how much I spent. Being proactive, I think every game shop should be reaching out to local content creators and trying to build a relationship,
Totally.
which I look to do with you going forward.
100%.
And I don't know how to say this and sound humble.
Yeah. Don't then, dude.
It's me, but at one point it peaked at $45,000.
I don't know how much of this you're allowed to get into is the thing.
I don't know either. Turning over all the stones, there's a lot more to this than I thought.
We're here in Angola, Indiana at Golgari Games to talk to the owner, play some games, of course, and gather some insight.
Oh shit! Did we do the intro music?
Justin Hockenberry, right?
That's correct.
Hey, we got it. Remembered it. We're good. Yeah, so we're going to be talking to him, the owner of this fine establishment, Golgari Games, that
That's
we're going
correct,
by.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so as you can see behind us, they got tons of cool stuff, and hopefully the inside of this guy's brain's got just as much cool stuff.
I like to think so.
Awesome.
I like to think so.
He suggested Pioneer. I've never played it, so we're going to be trying to see how that goes for me. But getting things started off here, Magic-wise, I guess we might as well get stuff started off interview-wise. I saw some post about MagicCon over on your Facebook.
Yeah, MagicCon Chicago, yep.
How did that go, dude?
Okay, so I look at it from two different perspectives for me personally. I went to MagicCon in Vegas.
Okay.
Their 30th anniversary big shindig they did.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So many Magic celebrities, all the attractions. There's just so much to see, and I lived through that, and then going to MagicCon Chicago, I can see where if it was your first like Magic experience,
Yeah.
you'd be blown away.
Coming off the tails of Las Vegas,
Right.
though. Yeah.
You got 10,000 like-minded people all playing Magic,
Yep.
but for me it was kind of just,
Yeah, that's fair enough.
they don't do enough with the play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a very Magic focal event, and you want to go there and play,
Yeah.
but you can't unless you're there. You spend the money on the big pass to get there an hour before everyone else to find a seat.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people, and don't get me wrong, Magic fans and players, they're so dedicated. They were sitting on the floor in big pods playing Commander and so on and so forth. That's just not comfortable, though.
No, like,
But, no, I mean, I had a good time. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
is it a space issue? So that's going to be on you.
I don't think it was a space issue. I think it was, like, just an oversight logistics issue.
It seemed like John had a blast, like with the pictures of him meeting his YouTube idols there.
Were you on the
dude.
play?
You're on the play.
I'm on the play. Okay.
It seems like he got to meet a ton of people that he was excited to meet.
Oh,
from
my
the
goodness.
pictures.
And so, honestly, that was kind of one of the most exciting things for me, was
Mm-hmm.
to live almost just vicariously through him.
Yeah.
John just inherently is a very shy person.
Totally.
And I was trading some cards in to a local vendor of Chicago there.
Mm-hmm.
And John sees, I think his name's Tyler, from Playing with Power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he just loses his freaking mind internally. Doesn't say a word. I mean, he's just
The one picture, he looked completely statued.
totally. He couldn't muster it to talk to anybody. So I'm just like, John, like I took it upon myself. Like, you're here. You're not going to probably do this
Yeah.
again. You got to take these shots. So
Totally.
I just said, hey, Tyler.
Oh, no, he's just...
This is John. He's a big fan. Could he get a picture with you?
That is awesome.
Yeah, he did finally warm up. Like, a big one for me was I met Seth from MTG Goldfish.
Oh, I saw that
I love
picture.
that guy.
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
He just seems like a genuine human being.
He does. He
And
seems
even
like a
when
good
I met
guy.
him, he just had that loud, burly
Yep.
laugh that he has
All right, you're keeping 2 lands open as a blue player.
as a control player would.
So I'm going to ignore that impending doom, and we'll just move to the next question. So it seems like it might be an obvious answer because we're playing Magic, but it might not be. What's your game of choice? I guess that's more leaning towards like upbringing and like childhood. Like what kind of got you into this realm of gaming?
I'm gonna take this 2 ways.
Yeah, go for it.
You said game of choice.
Yes.
And as a Magic player, how it's worded matters.
Yep.
Game is Magic the
Format.
Gathering.
Yes, and then sub question: what's your favorite format of Magic Gathering?
So by nature, I'm a very competitive player.
Yeah.
I love sitting down playing a game of Commander, the jankiness, the fun, hanging out with your homies. If I had to pick one or the other, it's going to be a 60 card format that I get to go around
Fair
and
enough.
meet new people and compete.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. But then, if it was worded differently and you said CCG, collectible card game,
Okay. Yeah.
Pokemon is bar none. I would throw away Magic, and I say that very lightly.
Wow.
I would throw away Magic for that. It is what brought me into cards
Totally.
from my youth. I was very connected. I met a lot of great people throughout the years
Yeah.
with that, and yeah, that's just kind of where.
Wow. That's not the answer I expected.
Really?
No, I thought you'd be full into Magic, but it does make sense though. So is the reasoning behind that because the people that create Magic like support LGSs so well?
Create Pokemon?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is a big part of it for me now, and honestly, I didn't realize that there was a difference. Outside looking in from the consumer side of things,
it seems like
you don't pay attention to those things, and it's no fault of the patrons for that.
Totally.
But on this side, the Pokemon Company, they take care of their game very well. They care about their player base. They support the game stores to help support the community.
Yeah.
It's a genuine tree that tumbles down, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
We're here advocating and cheerleading for your game.
Yeah.
Right.
It should be a little bit of a symbiotic relationship.
Absolutely. Where you don't always feel that on Magic the Gathering or Wizards of the
no,
Coast side
not
of
at all.
things.
Especially lately, it's been a little rough.
Yeah, it's been a little tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we still push through, and I still love the game. I still
Yeah.
love the players. So
Totally. And there's still a competitive aspect to the game that I'm
Absolutely.
sure you're totally
Yeah.
into. So I guess that's kind of an interesting follow-up question that I didn't intend to ask. So playing Magic, or and playing Pokemon, I'm assuming as well.
Oh yeah.
Is the competitive scene in Magic much more competitive? Or are they about the same?
So the exposure I've had to it, throughout my years, I'd always been just a Pokemon collector. I dabbled with the cards because I knew there was a game, but to be honest with you, the Pokemon competitive scene, much more competitive than Magic.
Wow.
Much more. Their events are bigger. The player base just seems much more driven, and
Yeah,
competitive Pokemon, to me, feels like you ever sat down and just had a great night of playing a 4-pod of Commander with
Totally.
your boys. Great night. It feels the same playing one-on-one Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
The level of passion in the players that are dedicated to Pokemon feels that way.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's kind of why I gravitate to the Pokemon side.
No,
of
that
things.
totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
You would do something like that, wouldn't you?
I think I would. And as crazy as that play was, I don't think it's crazier than the craziest purchase you've ever made. How smooth was that? Yeah. Well, now that your answer is Pokemon, I guess the question is what's the craziest purchase for Pokemon you've ever made?
Craziest purchase for Pokemon kind of wasn't like a crazy. I guess that's a perspective thing, right?
Yeah.
So at the time, I spent $1,000 on a card.
Okay.
In that time of my life, that was crazy.
Oh man, still.
And nowadays,
cardboard.
not to flex on everybody, but I went to Magic Con and for wife aggro reasons, I can't really say how much I spent. But different times in my life.
Yeah.
So $1,000 back then, I bought a Shadowless First Edition PSA 9 Charizard, and at $1,000, crazy purchase. That card, I can't quote exactly what it's at now, but at one point it peaked at $45,000.
Yeah, exponentially more than it was.
Right. So that is probably the craziest purchase. Other than that,
Yeah.
I've bought in later years, and I'm now almost 34 years old. I've bought a Time Twister and things like that. So that's kind of like the two top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy. Time Twister's wild.
It is a wild, and to be honest with you, with the Pokemon, it doesn't feel as good as buying the Charizard.
I bet not.
Not at all.
It feels like Charizard's like an icon.
Yeah.
You're like, I have the thing now.
Yeah, I look at that, and it just feels good.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I own that.
I got that.
I don't know. I feel like I can go pick up chicks with this card.
So how long have you been owner here? Exactly.
It is going on a year and a half now that I've been owner, and
Okay.
a very rocky ride.
Yeah. Has that made it go quicker or slower for you?
Both.
Both.
Obviously, going into this, my previous job, I was like a district, almost regional manager for a chain of Subways, gas stations, and a little bit of the Dairy Queens here in Angola. So I came into this maybe a little overconfident.
Yeah.
Maybe thinking I knew it all and that I was going to be successful just riding on my passion for the community and Magic the Gathering.
For sure.
turning over all the stones, there's a lot more to this than I thought.
Yeah.
There-
And so let's get into that a little bit. So there's a lot more to this than you thought. What was before you got into this, what was your like biggest hoop that you thought would happen owning a game store?
So I was pretty spot on with the biggest hoop.
Okay.
Inventory.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I came into this, and I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus, so I won't drop any names, but previous ownership, they're great people. I don't think they shared the same passion for this, so therefore the same effort wasn't put in.
Yeah.
So over the last year and a half, it's been constantly backtracking, taking a step forward, 10 steps backwards kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we'll get there, and thankfully a lot of the community has seen it and seen my efforts, and they all lend their hands to make it get better. But yeah, inventory is a nightmare.
It seems like that's the hardest thing to deal with. And is that from the point of view of just no one really having the inventory you need, or is that from the point of view of like distributors are just naturally kind of difficult to be dealing with?
All of that is also true.
Okay.
But the biggest hurdle I've had here is that the inventory. So we have a system that we enter our inventory into, and that inventory was messed up from the very beginning.
Yep.
So the system will say I have cards that I don't have, or I actually do have them, but they're over here
Yeah.
and over there, and it's just impossible to figure out where they're at,
Yep.
or whether I have them or not. The only true way to fix that is to delete the inventory, start over. I knew that was probably a death sentence in writing if I did that. That's going to put us back probably 6 months.
Yeah, because like for anybody that's not kind of clicking there, it's like that's how many days without your inventory just being up?
No, months.
Months without your
Yeah,
inventory
as a
being
one-man
up, like-
band, I mean, you can realistically do like 1,000 cards a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not gonna
In the scope of over 500,000 cards, yeah,
cut it.
correct.
Dang.
So we rally, we do our best, we make things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you were talking about community in there.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you describe the community that comes into Golgari games?
That has been the biggest humbling, rewarding thing I've had, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. The community here is excellent.
They seem great.
They are great. They're a good bunch of guys. And again, like I prefaced before, they're willing to help with anything. It's very family-esque here.
Yeah.
And any time, you fear though when you get that it's going to become cliquey. Like if someone comes in and if Nick is new to here and he comes in, and are you going to be accepted?
Totally.
And I have seen some of it, not go that way. But those people, it's just one of us. And then we play a game. Everything's cool.
Yeah. Once you find that connection between the two people,
Right,
it probably
absolutely.
immediately is like, okay,
Absolutely.
cool, I can get over that.
Yeah. So community here, we have the absolute best community. I stand by it.
Okay, another
Playing
pass.
control, draw, go.
With you're playing draw go control, which I can.
He's shaking. You guys can't see it, but
You
he's
can't
shaking.
you can't see it because we got the stabilizer on. So you talking about the community here being like very family oriented and very like willing to support the shop.
Yeah.
That seems like part of this answer, but I'm sure there's more. Like, what is the thing, if you had to pick it, that makes someone coming into Golgari Games feel different than going into like another LGS that they'd go into?
So it's something, and I don't know how to say this and sound humble.
Yeah. Don't then.
It's me.
Yeah.
It is 100% me. It is my willingness to get to know every single person that comes in this door.
Totally.
Make sure that you have a great experience. If I don't have what you're looking for, I'm going to help you find what you're looking for. If you don't want to go to another place to find it, we'll get it in.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. And just the willingness to go that extra mile. I think that's it. And I knew going into this that I didn't want to do the same status quo cookie cutter game shop that everyone does. So I'm constantly looking for new avenues to take to try things differently,
Well, we can even bump this up in the questions here because that taps into it really well. And it's kind of like your little brainchild over here. Sure. You're saying tapping into creativity and all that's what makes your shop different. And I really do see that because that's what's drawing me into coming here is like, especially the commander drafts, if you want to like specify what that little brainchild of yours is.
That is a pretty wild event. I'm super proud of that event.
Yeah.
That really came from so let's go preface back to the inventory question.
Yeah.
So we have, 500,000 inventory that I'm turning the stones over every single day to try and make correct. Yeah. What people don't see is I have another 500,000 inventory in the back that just weighs on me. And one day I'm just looking at this pile of cards, like, what can I do with this? It's all in the 5,000 count boxes.
Yep.
And then it just dawned on me out of nowhere, Commander Draft. Why don't we set these boxes up on tables, usually 10,000 cards per table, and let people draft legendary creatures, commanders, and then do a draft with the boxes, build a full commander deck, leave the house with a brand new commander deck that was your brainchild. You can bring it back, upgrade it. You're proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Like, so you've done one of them or two of them?
3. We're going into our third
Going
now.
into the third
Yeah.
one? How did those go, the first two?
The first one was very small. Is actually an event that didn't fire.
Okay.
It was a store championship. For some whatever reason, not enough people showed up for that.
Man.
I mean, it was 12 people, so it's enough, but didn't feel like enough.
Yeah, it didn't feel like enough.
So I said, guys, what if I've been thinking about this idea. What if we just try this? And they're like, yeah, absolutely, no brainer. This sounds great.
It does.
So we did it. We learned that event takes a million years to run. So it's been tweaking and pulling the strings on that to make it run much more smoothly and not 12 hours.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of what my next question was going to be, was what's the, going into the third round of that, what's the thing that you're like tweaked the most to be like more streamlined?
So one, the obvious, start a little earlier.
Yeah.
Traditionally, I've started every event at 5 p.m. on a Saturday. It seems to be, and that's for inclusivity. Like more people can come at that time. And then the other one is if in these events I've actually, like the last one we had 20 some odd people here for a small game shop for a niche event.
Oh yeah, that's
pretty good
for sure.
And splitting the event in half. Let's be honest. If you do this, you want to play Commander. That's what you're really here for.
Yeah.
You're getting a full Commander deck out of this. You don't feel like you lost.
No.
So what we'll do is if there's 20 people, we split, 8 and 12.
Okay.
And we're running 2 different events, so then we're only running 3 rounds instead of 5 or 6 rounds.
Oh, okay, that makes way more sense.
So it's 3 rounds twice.
Gotcha.
But happening simultaneously.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So that seems like it'll cut the time in half. Like,
Absolutely.
geez.
And WOTC loves it because now it's 2 events.
Yeah, I get to submit 2 of those in there now. Oh boy. Okay. So, playing against you, having been such a proud competitive player. Kind of sketches me out a little bit because I'm not super competitive. So I think you're going to just steamroll me. But
Yeah, that's probably true.
I think if I come here and play in some tournaments, I'll get better.
Absolutely.
What kind
That's
of
just how it
tournaments?
works.
What kind of tournaments would I expect to see a week
Well,
here
so
when I come in?
that is kind of the mission for this year.
Okay.
Is to reinvigorate 60-card formats. Legacy, Pauper, Pioneer. Not so much getting into the modern or standard at this moment, even though WOTC really wants us to push standard.
Yeah.
So those events are definitely firing off. But then the big one that we're going to be kicking off, happening at the end of next month, is proxy-friendly CEDH tournaments. Yeah, we're reaching, hopefully, from states around. We're putting up over $1,000 in prizes at every single event happening monthly.
That's super exciting.
Super exciting. A little bit of anxiety.
I was going to
stress.
say nerve-wracking, but
yeah, there's potential loss there, but
yeah,
we'll get there.
for sure.
Yeah, and obviously this goes for a longer-term goal. We do look to eventually start running these big events here, filling the house, getting the name out there.
Yep.
And then the long-term goal is to open an event center.
Oh,
Yeah, where we're able to host multiple 100 people at a time.
that's such a good idea. And I think that's what you're saying, where previous owners like being decent people but not having that kind of like that same passion for the game that you
Right.
do. I think those are the kind of ideas that come from like having that kind of passion for the
Yeah.
game. It's like we need an event center. We need as many people to play this game as possible.
Right.
So I love that. That's actually super exciting. You were saying something about this being a push towards like legitimizing competitive Commander more. So I don't know how much of this you're allowed to get into is the thing.
I don't know either,
Okay.
but what I will say is already online.
Yeah.
So I will get into that. Are you talking about the system that I told you about that we're
Yes.
using for that?
Yes.
Top Deck GG.
Yeah.
I only know so much.
Okay.
What they're doing, what they're aiming to do is make CEDH feel like a pro tour.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll have small stores like us that are interested in running CEDH events. We partner up with them for a fee.
Okay.
That fee all goes directly into a final like tour prize pool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and it's exceeding $10,000 already.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and we're just at the very beginning of it. And then when we, the small guys, run the events, the CEDH events, the players are earning like champion points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they can tweak and get as involved or not involved as they want to.
Yeah.
And earn championship points over the course of this, and eventually maybe try and find themselves a seat at that big table for what we're speculating is going to be between a 50 and 100K event.
The Commander Pro Tour, as it would be.
It feels that way. Yeah.
That's very cool, dude.
Which would be crazy, because CEDH, I don't know how much of it you've been exposed to.
Not a lot, but
I would say arguably is more like competitive on a you really seriously have to think everything out. Mm-hmm. There's 100 cards in a deck, 100 different cards in a deck.
That adds a whole different layer. That'll be super entertaining to watch, I think. Especially
and not one opponent. You have 3.
True. I didn't even consider that it was going to be pods still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's absolutely pods.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's going to be exciting. So, possible something on that. We'll see.
CEDH tournament?
Yeah. There might be some video on that CEDH tournament.
Right. March
Who knows?
April 27th.
April 27th. So, yeah. Keep your browsers open.
Topdeck.gg/Golgari Games.
Hey, there we go. Put it on the screen. Bah. It seems like Wizards and all these companies are kind of making a push towards like digital, not only like digital collecting and like keeping track of everything, but digital play and all that. Especially with being able to like qualify for Pro Tours by playing Magic Arena. That's like insane to me.
Yeah.
What do you think like an LGS's job is to like push the game towards still being an in physical like thing?
I'm fairly green to this whole process.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. I'm out here just grinding and trying every single day.
Totally.
I don't have 10 years plus experience in this world, other than just being a part of the world.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll just give my honest answer on that. I think it's what we're trying to do currently, and that's just be different.
Yeah.
Provide an experience that can't be found online.
100%.
Tailor a community that you can't get online.
Yep.
And offer a service that you can't get online.
And like from the questions we've asked you, like you're checking all those boxes, it feels like.
We're trying to.
Like with the commander drafts and the family-oriented like customers, it seems like you're kind of pushing in that direction.
Yeah, we're trying our best. That's the best I got for that.
Hey, that's great, dude. I love it. I'm going to swing at you.
With all 5 of those?
Yeah, for 5.
I'll take 5.
Nice. So after I damage you like that, I hope you're still willing to support the channel and everything.
No, absolutely.
Okay,
It's fine. It's
okay.
fine. What I do to you will be far worse.
Speaking of which, what do you think, and LGS, like what role do you think they play in like supporting local creatives? Because I see a lot of business cards and like people's art around here.
Yeah.
So what do you think your
I
job
think
is in that?
that going into this new digital age that we're in, and I don't mean going into, because we've been in it for a very long time, and I think it's an underutilized asset and relationship that we can build. We have WOTC. They're a big company, and they like to say that they're supporting and advertising for us. It's not true. It's all about their pocketbook. So being proactive, I think every game shop should be reaching out to local content creators and trying to build a relationship, which I look to do with you going forward.
100%.
And really helping concrete that local community foundation.
You get better like content too. Like once you curate that community, they bounce off each other.
Yeah.
Like,
I champion for you, you champion for me.
100%.
We ball.
Yep. Memory daily.
Take 2, bottom 2 in a random order if you don't mind.
Oh man, do you mind like you mind deluging that memory of yours for the best part of running the shop here?
Best part of running the shop. We have touched on that many times throughout this interview.
Yeah.
And that is simply the community.
Yep.
It is coming up with those brainchilds like the Commander Draft, and it's almost like a child. You know, when you see it succeed, nothing's better than that.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it hurts my heart on a weekend where it's not busy, and I understand that's not our fault. It happens, but we like to see people playing games in our seats, and it just the store sings.
Oh man,
you know, there's a certain something to that, and just it kind of revalidates all the efforts you put in.
Yeah, I bet.
And that is the most rewarding, best part of it.
We'll end on a sour note here.
Sour note. Okay.
What's the worst part of running this place?
The inventory. I'm a very social guy.
Totally.
I like to talk to everyone. I even like to jump into a game even though I know there's work that should be done. But honestly, I've kind of taken a step back and thought about it in this building phase.
Yeah.
It's probably a part of my job as much as inventory is.
It definitely is.
Getting to know everyone, beating them in games.
Yeah.
It has to be taking time away from that.
Yeah.
And having to do the work.
Dividing
I understand
your
it's part
time.
of my job. It doesn't get done if I don't do it.
Yeah.
But that is it. I want to spend time with everybody.
Totally.
And not take away from that. And I can't have both all the
Yeah,
time,
you need a place
unfortunately.
to spend time with them at.
Right,
Like-
right. And tax season. That's pretty daunting in
Yeah.
this world. You would be shocked how much having over 500,000 cards complicates the inventory process.
I imagine. Well, dude, I really appreciate you sitting
Yeah.
down for the interview.
Absolutely.
I, as we said multiple times through it, like, please plan for collabs in the future.
Absolutely.
Because we're definitely going to be working together.
Yeah.
If there's something that you'd want to say to the audience, either a plug or like upcoming things, anything like that.
So this month is going to be just jam-packed full of events. If you're local or not local, we'd still love to have you out. So starting up, we have the Outlaws of Thunder Junction on April 13th pre-release. We're going to be running that in a two-headed giant style.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that'll be
absolutely. And then the big one on April 27th, the CEDH tournament, putting up over $1,000 in prizes. There's long-term goals if you want there to be, or there's just a night of fun if that's all you're looking for. But April 27th is the date for that, 11:30 a.m. It should be huge.
fun. Awesome. Cool.
Huge.
Appreciate you, my guy. Hopefully it went well now that we're in the future a little bit. This kind soul of a man decided to donate these to give away at the end of the video. So if you want to subscribe, like, share the video, drop a comment that says hashtag Golgari Games, you'll be submitted to the giveaway to win Commander Masters. What's this one called?
Planeswalker Party.
Planeswalker Party. Woo! And
The Year of the Dragon Shield sleeves.
boom. So, if you want to comment that, you'll be entered. Appreciate you a ton, Justin.
Right on, man.
We can see a before, a pre-panic attack and post-panic attack. Nick. We'll see that, like before. And then after, I'll be like, got my shades on. I think how yesterday went, like, is a good sign for how. This is all the giveaway stuff. We finally got it. Using that as a little, wow. I was gonna be like, let me show him this. Look at this camera this guy's got. Check this out. Yeah, they're like, I liked the Joanne Fabrics interview section. That was kind of cool. I guess they're closed.
Dude, what day is it?
Tuesday. All right. Well.